Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to TV3 Bangla. Today is 8th July, 10:30 in the night. We are discussing about amnesty for illegal immigrants or legalize the undocumented migrants. And our slogan is no human is illegal. I have two distinguished guests with me, Barrister Abdurahman Jafar and Barrister Abu Saim. Barrister Abdurahman Jafar, welcome to TV3 Bangla.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Barrister Saim, how are you?
Oh, thank you very much, Nasheed Bhai. Very well, and also very pleased to have a prominent figure with us tonight. We have seen him fighting for undocumented migrants for a long time in courts. Today, hopefully, we will have him amongst us to fight for the undocumented migrants outside the court, and all the communities will benefit from his work in future, inshallah.
Absolutely. Dear viewers, Barrister Abdurahman Jafar, he is a prominent barrister. He's practicing for last 23 years. He called to the bar in the year 1997. Since then, he's practicing. He has many landmark cases, and I often bump up with him in many immigration tribunals here and there. Barrister Jafar also have a humanistic view and a human rights perspective on his practice. Let me ask some question to Barrister Abdurahman Jafar. Barrister Jafar, what do you think about the current political regime and the situation of undocumented immigrants in the UK?
It seems as though the time is right for an amnesty. There are over 1 million undocumented individuals in the UK. The Home Office has released all the immigration detention centres are empty. Everyone's been released. People aren't required to sign on anymore. Britain needs both skilled and unskilled workers. Now we're leaving the EU. So all of these things, as well as there were some remarks made by Boris Johnson last year. So all of these suggest that there would be some movement towards an amnesty for undocumented migrants, and it would certainly be in the UK's economic interest for such an amnesty. But we have a government who's the most right-wing since the Second World War, almost, and they don't necessarily follow logic. They follow the rule for their own survival, their own election survival, and they play to a very right-wing constituency of the UK. So the people that form the bedrock of support for the current Conservative Party are very right-wing, and so there's a how that would politically play with the support for the Conservative Party. That's probably going to be what determines the outcome as to whether there's going to be an amnesty or not. Also, Priti Patel has been saying some very or giving some very harsh messages about being lenient at all. Also, the UK is offering citizenship to Hong Kong residents, so it's very likely for workers will be somewhat satisfied by former Hong Kong residents.
Absolutely. But Jafar, we are doing this show for different diasporas, Bengali, Indian, Pakistani, and so many diasporas in the UK. Can you please say these things in Urdu or Hindi for Urdu and Hindi language users, please?
अच्छा, मेरी उर्दू और हिंदी बहुत अच्छा नहीं है, तो आप प्लीज सब्र कीजिए. हम कहना चाहते हैं कि सिचुएशन लगता है कि एमनेस्टी के लिए ये अच्छा वक्त है, इसलिए इकोनॉमिकली ये मुल्क को बहुत ज़रूरी है, इसलिए ब्रिटेन EU को लीव कर रहा है, तो बहुत सारे वर्कर्स जो EU से आते थे उन लोग को रिप्लेस करने की ज़रूरत है. और पहले भी बोरिस जॉनसन ने बहुत पॉजिटिव चीज़ कहा था सालों पहले कि माइग्रेंट के बारे में कि उन लोग को एमनेस्टी देना चाहिए। और अभी सब इमिग्रेशन डिटेंशन सेंटर को खाली कर लिया ये कोविड के वजह से। और रिपोर्टिंग बहुत लगता है कि माइग्रेंट्स के लिए बहुत रिलैक्स्ड है। वैसे पॉलिटिकली जो रास्ता राइट विंग का रास्ता ये गवर्नमेंट जा रहा है और जो होम सेक्रेटरी प्रीति पटेल बहुत सख्त से इमिग्रेशन पर कंट्रोल देखना चाहती है, लोगों को दिखाना चाहते हैं कि ये गवर्नमेंट बहुत एंटी इमिग्रेंट है, एंटी माइनॉरिटीज, एंटी। तो ये गवर्नमेंट चाहता है अपने आप को दिखाने के लिए कि बहुत राइट विंग गवर्नमेंट, और इन लोग का बहुत सारे सपोर्टर्स हैं जो यही चीज़ चाहते हैं। तो लगता है कि टाइम ये ज़माना लगता है कि एमनेस्टी के लिए सही है। वैसे ये गवर्नमेंट फॉलो नहीं करता है जो चीज़ ज़रूरी है, जो वक्त डिमांड करता है और जो सिचुएशन और वो मुल्क के लिए बेहतर है। हम लोग ने कोरोना वायरस के फियास्को को कैसे देखा कि गवर्नमेंट एकदम नहीं फॉलो करता है जो साइंटिस्ट कहता है, जो दूसरे मुल्क को फॉलो करते हैं, जो ज़रूरी चीज़ है इस मुल्क के लिए ये गवर्नमेंट नहीं फॉलो करता है और खाली राइट विंग sound bites देते हैं।
Mr. Saim, we have many callers, and in the screen you can see Barrister Jafar's credential. He qualified on 1997 from Lincoln's Inn, and now we'll go back to the previous screen. And Barrister Saim, may I request you to say something in Bengali, and we'll take some call, but we'll prefer the Hindi and English Urdu calls only, please. সাইম।
জি ধন্যবাদ নাশিদ ভাই। আমরা তো সবসময় বলেই এসেছি, তো আজকে আমাদের একজন ডিস্টিংগুইশড গেস্ট আছেন যিনি উর্দু কিংবা হিন্দিতেও কথা বলছেন ইংরেজির পাশাপাশি, যেটার জন্য আসলে আমি সত্যিকার অর্থে তাকে ধন্যবাদ জানাই এবং আপনাকে ধন্যবাদ জানাই যে ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড থেকে আপনি যেভাবে দিনরাত পরিশ্রম করে যাচ্ছেন নাশিদ ভাই, আই মিন ইট। আপনি যেভাবে পরিশ্রম করছেন বিভিন্ন কমিউনিটি থেকে পিপল অফ হাইলি সোশ্যাল স্ট্যান্ডিং তাদেরকে আপনি নিয়ে আসছেন। এই বিষয়টা আমি আশা করছি যে আমাদের কমিউনিটির মানুষ যারা আনডকুমেন্টেড ইমিগ্রেন্ট আছেন, বিভিন্ন কমিউনিটির যারা আনডকুমেন্টেড আছেন তাদেরকে সহযোগিতা করা হবে এবং তারা এটা একটা ফলাফল পাবে। আমরা যেটি বলেছি যে একদিন এক রাতে আমরা শেষ করে দেব না, আমরা সকলকে এক করতে চাই। সেই জায়গাটিতে আজকে মিস্টার জাফরের মতো মানুষগুলো যদি আসে এবং আমরা যদি একযোগে কাজ করি, ইনশাল্লাহ আমরা খুব সহজে এটার একটা ভালো ফলাফল পাবো।
I know there's many callers are waiting on the line. I'll prefer Hindi and Urdu callers only, inshallah. And if you are from different background and if you may speak Hindi and Urdu, you can talk with Barrister Jafar and he may answer your queries. May I take the first call? Dear viewer, assalamu alaikum. Dear viewer, assalamu alaikum.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Could you speak in Urdu or Hindi?
Hello.
Today's program is dedicated for the viewers of Urdu and Hindi language only.
Okay. Basically, last week I applied for my wife public fund restriction withdrawal.
Okay.
And today I got an email that says she have to provide if she get any fund from friends and family. But I already mentioned there, she's staying with me as a wife. She's staying with me. And what sort of a reply they are?
Now, whether you mentioned that she is not having any assistance from friends and family in your cover letter, that's the question.
Yeah, I already told them she's not getting any fund from any friends and any friends.
Okay.
But family,
as the Home Office required that question, you answer it. There is no question to challenge the Home Office. Barrister Jafar, do you want to add something? Brother Jafar, do you want to add something?
So I didn't really understand the question.
Okay, he make an application for his wife's.
No. I'm fine with.
Okay, fine, absolutely fine. We'll discuss only the amnesty and the legalization of the undocumented immigrants. So we are not giving any legal advice from Mr. Jafar's side. Absolutely perfect. So, as we are doing this show, and people want some general legal advice, you understand my point? So, Mr. Sam, do you want to add something?
Right. I think he's from Bengali background, so it
That's
will,
right.
If I speak Bengali.
No.
Go ahead, Mr. Saib. Go ahead. Okay. যেটা হচ্ছে যে যেহেতু আমার মনে হচ্ছে যে উনি বাংলাদেশি ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড সেই হিসেবে হয়তো আমি বাংলাতে বললে পরে তার জন্য ভালো হবে। সেটা হচ্ছে আপনাকে প্রশ্ন করে থাকে ফ্রেন্ডস এবং ফ্যামিলির কাছ থেকে কোনো ধরনের কোনো কন্ট্রিবিউশন পাচ্ছেন কিনা, তাহলে আপনি এটার উত্তর পাঠিয়ে দেন। এমন যদিও অ্যাপ্লিকেশন ফর্মে একটা সুযোগ ছিল বলার, আপনি হয়তো বলেছেন, তবুও কোনো কারণে যদি তারা চেয়ে থাকে আপনি একটু ব্যাখ্যা সহ সেটা পাঠিয়ে দেন।
Dear viewers, we are discussing about legalization of undocumented immigrants. With me, I have two distinguished guests, Mr. Abdurahman Jafar and Mr. Abu Saim. I'll ask Mr. Jafar, if you look at the political scenario of whole Europe, if you look at the scenario in other side of Atlantic, Brazil, USA, everyone is anti-immigrant. Even if you look at the scenario in third world country like India, during the coronavirus, there is a sectarian and the regional, conflict between different states. So it's not the phenomena of populist government; it's a worldwide scenario. Why? My question is why? Why at this time?
Well, all of these governments you mentioned, Brazil, US, India, they all have populist governments.
Yes.
So actually, at the moment, one of the failures of modern democracy is a failure to educate the population. And so we don't understand what the benefits of a liberal democracy are. Russia has been doing a lot behind the scenes to ensure racism in the EU and in America spreads and overtakes the political system, because this is the way to destroy liberal democracies. And so lots of other countries will benefit from liberal democracy being weakened, from Western governments being more dictatorial. Russia wants this. Israel wants this, because Israel needs to survive. Israel is a dictatorship, a racist apartheid state, and it can't survive in a world where liberal democratic values are primacy. And Russia is taking revenge for what the West did to the Soviet Union. So it's been very easy to break apart and pull apart the foundations for liberal democracy. There's been a lot of space given for far-right movements to express racist attitudes in it. And to be honest, it seems as though maybe they say 20% of in any country, 20% of the electorate will be populist, will be extremist. And this 20%, can you imagine? You have Labour and Conservative. They're kind of a two-horse race. They're always going to be neck and neck, almost equal. But then, if the Tories add in the racist, or in America, if they add in the racist narrative, then they automatically have a hardcore of an additional 20% of electorate who never usually vote. So the extremists, whether it's in America or the UK or India, they don't usually vote. They're involved in the low educated, very stupid people. So, but what's happened now is that this small minority has been harnessed. There's been a coordinated attempt to control the types of ideas that these people have. They have conspiracy theories about coronavirus, about 5G, about vaccine. All of these conspiracy theorist people have been very easy to make into a hardcore racist element. And so we see in America, in Brazil, in India, in the UK, this theme developing very strongly, unfortunately.
Thank you. Dear viewers, I know there's many callers, and we'll take only calls regarding amnesty for undocumented immigrants. We'll not give any legal advice whatsoever today. Let me check whether there's anyone wants have any opinion question regarding undocumented immigrants. Dear viewers, assalamu alaikum.
Hello, hi. My name is Muhammad.
Hi.
I'm very happy. I have one question regarding asylum, if you don't mind. It's very important. I'll be very happy if you give some of your time.
Please. Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Basically, I came as a student in 2010, a Tier 4 student. In 2012, I applied for my visa, and Home Office granted 2.5 years visa. I used 2x ETS exam. Eventually, 2014, they curtailed my visa. They said I have the allegation of 2x. I didn't go for judicial review. What I did, I made some EEA extended family member application from 2014, 2015. My brother-in-law. They refused quite a few applications I did till 2018, and all of them are refused. At the same time, I went to my solicitors, and they said there's an Assam case law that you can apply for your appeal right. And I made a separate representation beside my EA application. But what they did,
I understand this is nothing to do with amnesty for illegal immigrants. Dear viewer, I understand your question. It's a complicated background, EA, TOEIC, and multiple application. So better you take advice from your solicitor. That's the best thing. Our platform is for undocumented immigrants. There's hundreds of thousands. Better Sam, I want your contribution in this regard. We are in a motto. We are in a journey. It's not just for one day.
I wouldn't say I've made any contribution towards this yet. However, we are trying our best. You have been doing hard work, and you have been doing so many things, especially reaching people like Mr. Jafar. That's amazing. So I actually had a question for Mr. Jafar, because when
please.
Introduction, he mentioned about Mr. Boris Johnson, who made several pledges at different times for undocumented immigrants in this country. My first question to Mr. Jafar is whether Mr. Boris Johnson is honest on this point, or he made some pledges, I don't know out of what, but if he's honest, I would have remarks from Mr. Jafar. And if he's honest, how would he tackle the situation from his cabinet, especially those who are not willing to have the undocumented immigrants legalized in this country, including his Home Secretary? So how would he overcome this, this confrontation?
The first question on honesty, I mean, Boris Johnson made a career as a journalist, and he doesn't hide the fact that he lied in his newspaper articles. He was a journalist for the Times newspaper, Rupert Murdoch's newspaper, and I think
Telegraph.
And sorry, the Telegraph, and he was the EU correspondent, and he would make up stories about the EU requiring straight bananas, certain types of fish. He would just make it up, and in the UK they would love it, even though it wasn't true at all. So he's got a very strong history of not telling the truth, but he's able to make people laugh and make people feel at ease. And so that's his value. His value is not honesty. We've seen in any political position he's taken the opposite position as well. And similarly, with regards to his cabinet, Priti Patel, as being a home secretary, he appointed her as a home secretary. I mean, there are many, his cabinet consists of some quite clever people and some people who are token right-wing individuals like Matt Hancock and Priti Patel. And he's given the positions which are very important for the right wing of the UK, for instance, the Home Secretary of State, for these hard right-wing cabinet members like Priti Patel. So unfortunately, honesty, he himself wouldn't say he's honest. There's no one in the UK who can say Boris Johnson is honest, or who can say that he has a consistent record of fulfilling what he promises. So unfortunately, his promises, he can say whatever he wants on one day, and then the next day he will say, I didn't mean it, or just deny saying it, as what he's done. In the beginning of the coronavirus outbreak, he was saying, and he said to the Prime Minister of Germany that we're going to be implementing herd immunity, and now he simply denies saying it. He just says, I never said it. So the question is, how does that work? Usually politicians, they would work very hard to at least seem to tell the truth. But the problem is, he's got a population of right-wing supporters who don't care whether he tells the truth, as long as he keeps giving off the right-wing agenda. That's what that part of the population is very, very happy. So unfortunately, the answer seems very negative.
I agree with Mr. Jafar in most of the perspective, but I have a different perspective. I will share it with Mr. Jafar and Mr. Abu Saim. I will take one call. I will check whether it's regarding amnesty for illegal or undocumented immigrant. Dear viewer, assalamu alaikum. Dear viewer, assalamu alaikum. Hello? Hello, viewer, can you hear me? Can I take the next call, please? Hello? Dear viewer, can you hear me? Hello? And so this is some technical problem. I will come to Mr. Jafar. Mr. Jafar, I agree with you. Our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, he have a track record of lying. Even he failed to answer how many children he fathered during the general election. But in one sense, I think he's not dishonest about this amnesty, because he commissioned that report in 2010 while he was the mayor of London, and from Oxford University and LSE and University of Leeds. And he advocated it against his predecessor, Theresa May, that you're wrong. Your policy is wrong. Total number cap is wrong. He dropped it from his agenda. Even the day he became the Prime Minister, 18th July 2019, the next day, the British Bengali MP, Dr. Rupa Haq, asked him about the amnesty for undocumented immigrants. He said, with the view of economic betterment of UK, we will make a policy. What I think Barrister Saim mentioned, with his right-wing colleagues and the Home Office, and he has so many agendas, priority. That's my belief. I don't disagree with you on principle, but
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
amnesty for illegal immigrant, I think Mr. Boris Johnson is correct.
Nasheed
And
bhai,
he
Yeah,
believed
yeah.
it from, yes, that's just time.
I mean, my second question to Mr. Jafar is relevant then. If
Please.
honest on this point, how would he tackle this situation? How will he
Yeah.
convince his colleagues that
Yeah.
undocumented immigrants should be legalized in the United Kingdom? I have now another question to Mr. Jafar. I mean, the benefits that
Yeah.
undocumented immigrants will provide to the country, especially to the economy, would that be, in the sense of its gravity, lower than 3 million Hong Kong residents coming to this country?
No, you're absolutely right. I don't know about the comparisons with Hong Kong residents. I mean, the Hong Kong, they don't need to be mutually exclusive. There's no reason why you couldn't have an amnesty as well as give citizenship to residents of Hong Kong. So they don't have to be one or the other. And but I think it may be that going back to the report commissioned in 2010, it has to be remembered that Boris Johnson did that when he was the London mayor. He had a very different voter support. This is what I'm saying. He was a very liberal politician at that time because he had a very liberal constituent. And now he is representing Middle England. He has a very right-wing agenda. I think as he's obviously clever, he's an intelligent individual. So anyone who is an intelligent individual will add up the numbers and understand that regularizing undocumented migrants, not going through the expense of appeals, of removals, of detentions of 1 million people, and allowing these people who are mainly working, who are willing to work very hard, who are willing to sacrifice a lot for this country, allowing them to stay and pay taxes, it makes a lot of economic sense. So there's no real argument, intelligent argument against an amnesty. But this government in this environment is not necessarily following logic or intelligence or rationality. So I think Boris Johnson recognizes the value of migrants, but at the end of the day, he doesn't care the benefit it would bring to this country, weighed against electoral success for Boris Johnson in appearing to be right-wing. Whether we could do that by, I don't know, making the issue of the amnesty more mainstream and getting more politicians to talk about it, to talk about the benefits of it, to try and bring along a conversation in society where migration, where providing an amnesty is more widely talked about and more widely recognized. This could possibly bring on board political change, but as things stand at the moment, it seems as though, but again, it's very unpredictable. Like when the family amnesty was announced, I think way back in 2007, there was one. And there's been various amnesties throughout the ages, and they're quite, although the need for the amnesty is clear, but there's not much knowledge beforehand. You can't know immediately before that the government is going to do this amnesty. So it's unpredictable.
I do agree
so
with
there's something that's being put up here.
Yes. Yes, I do agree with you. This is an article about what does it mean by Boris Johnson's amnesty for irregular immigrants. And my question to Barrister Jafar, what we'll do, we'll go for a small break for 30 seconds, then we'll come back and we'll join with Barrister Jafar and Barrister Abu Saim. We're just going for a small break and we'll come back in 30 seconds time, please.
ইংল্যান্ডে আমরা চাইলেও অনেক কিছু করতে পারি না, অনেক ঝামেলা। হায় রে হায়, লন্ডনের এই জীবনে ঝামেলার কোনো শেষ নাই। আমি লাল, আমার ইমিগ্রেশন, ঘর, ব্যবসা সবকিছুর ঝামেলার সমাধানে সবসময় পাশে আছে তাজ সলিসিটার।
Taj Solicitors believe in service.
I help my plants to grow. My performance demands competence. Photography is my passion. Accountancy is my profession. We, Mahbub & Co, a team of dedicated professionals.
Mahbub & Co Accountants.
Welcome to TV3 Bangla again. We are discussing about the amnesty for undocumented immigrants. I have two distinguished guests, Barrister Abdurahman Jafar and Barrister Abu Saim. Barrister Jafar, my question is, Barrister Abu Saim is absolutely correct. You have to balance the current situation. In 2010, Boris Johnson was mayor of the most liberal megacity of the world. Now he is Prime Minister of a populist government with a swing voter of mid-England, red wall. So he have to satisfy them. And the UKIP is abolished. Brexit party is almost merged with Conservative party. So he have a massive right-wing populist voter within his party. And more than 100 new MPs. They are just yes men of Boris Johnson. So he had a massive political backing from his new MPs, who may be a councillor, maybe not in political diaspora, maybe switch from Labour to Conservative. You never know. So it is a very strategical point. And if you look at the chief strategic advisor of Boris Johnson, who is mainly running this government, Dominic Cumming, and we know about his lifestyle, we know his ideology, and we know about his supremacist ideology. I believe that we are in a difficult situation, and the bad situation become worse because of the coronavirus. From all those perspectives, what is the? I understand this is the time, and the welfare government, a government who is thinking about the economy and the prosperity of the country for good long run, they should announce the amnesty not for the Hong Kong residents only, also for the undocumented immigrants in the UK. But the reality is, like 1980s, the Conservative government built the Docklands in London with the money of Hong Kong. I think is the repeat of the history. What do you think?
Is that question to me?
Yes, question to Barrister Jafar.
So you think there's a repeat of the 1980s with the building of the Docklands?
What I think that if we can bring the people from Hong Kong, they will not come empty-handed.
Right. Yeah.
They'll come with money.
Yeah.
They will come with sources. They will come with education. They will come with technology. Because they are not refugee. They have money. And there's two kinds of money, white money and black money. Both money will come to this island, from one island to another island.
Yeah. And
so it is an easy answer for the current government that yes, we bring so many people from Hong Kong, and they help to build our destroyed economy for coronavirus, and we bring this amount of money, that investment, that industry, that employment. So that argument is much more popular and strong than the amnesty for undocumented immigrants. What do you think?
Yeah, but I think the right wing of the country would be against both. They would be against Chinese Hong Kong people as well, because they're not both an amnesty of undocumented migrants, as well as granting Hong Kong citizens citizenship rights in the UK would benefit the UK. We need people. We have a growing elderly population. That was changed when we allowed EU migration. Now that's being stopped. It has to be replaced. Industry needs a revived workforce. But then we know with Brexit, markets. So there are many factors. So even before coronavirus, there were a lot of companies that were leaving the UK. Many of the banks, the service industry, which have been the bedrock of the UK economy, which has been many of them are leaving their headquarters from the UK. So we're going to be entering a different world after COVID-19, one where many people, where the economy may not be as strong. So that's going to be a factor that's going to work negatively against an introduction of an amnesty.
Mr. Jafar, I'm showing a news from Independent that is not the supporter of Boris Johnson, and they believe that Boris Johnson will be row back from his proposal for introduction of amnesty for undocumented immigrants because of that right-wing political agenda and how he can face 1922 committee. You know that a very strong committee in Parliament. So this liberal newspaper, they think that Boris Johnson will not honor his word and he will row back from his promise. And you also mentioned about his credibility and his honesty. Mr. Saib, your contribution, please.
Right. Actually, we now know what is what within the government and who is where. But the question is, from the perspective, context of the undocumented immigrants, is it not the case that many of them have relied on the words of Mr. Johnson? And while he was the mayor of London, those people within London, they relied on him and they have stayed in this country believing that one day he would keep his promise and he will do his best to implement those promises. Now, from the context of those undocumented immigrants, I would actually ask Mr. Jafar what they can do, what they can pressurize this government, especially so that the Prime Minister keeps his promise. Now, secondly, in relation to the Hong Kong residents, what I have said, I want to mean that the undocumented immigrants staying in this country right now, they will benefit more than those coming to this country because they have been in this country for a long time. They have all in the mainstream. There have been many of them, whether you accept it or not, whether the government allows it or not, they have been working. They know how to earn money and contribute to the economy of this country. And also culturally, they are actually integrated. They know the values of this country. So why would their contributions be undermined, undervalued by those who would be potentially coming to this country, especially when the government's policymakers doing this on the face of China's retaliation? China has already threatened they would take further actions against this action of the UK government. So why would the government of the United Kingdom not support the campaign of legalizing undocumented migrants in this country? That's my question. And although the only logic they can use, which they have been using for a long time, is effective immigration control. They're always asking people, okay, you come to this country by using the immigration rules. There are tools they have always been saying under the immigration rules, paragraph 276, ADE, AFM, EX1, you have everything so that you can use and you can legalize yourself in this country. However, when it comes to the question of the policymakers' intention, I wouldn't say that they are using this logic genuinely and honestly. They're actually using this so that they don't have to legalize the undocumented immigrants in this country, staying in this country. So my overall comment is government is not very much interested or willing to legalize the people within the country. Rather, they're willing to bring people to this country for whatever reason. Now, from our perspective, especially within the context of the undocumented immigrants, what they should do, how they can convince the people within the government, how they can pressurize the government, pressurize the policymakers for their right in this country?
Yes. So undocumented migrants are not represented in Parliament. So they don't have politicians or they don't have supporters, political supporters, apart from some MPs who naturally take up their support. So I think what migrants and what supporters of an amnesty should do is to raise the issue with MPs, raise it with your local MP, explain your situation to journalists, join pressure groups that highlight groups like JCWI and AIS. Many organizations work to try and bring some kind of legal amnesty to those who are undocumented in the UK. It's quite common that you get newspaper articles which contain articles explaining how difficult it is for certain families because of their situation, not being allowed to work and not being allowed to function and contribute as citizens. So I think getting involved in terms of civil society, being joining forces with other people who see the good of such an amnesty, all of these things should be pursued. And I think we've seen trends, haven't we? So with Obama, who was very liberal, and then we had Trump. And so maybe after this far right government, maybe when Trump has been, I think one of the good things about the coronavirus is that it's showing which governments are absolutely corrupt and incompetent. And all of the countries which the 5 most heavily affected by the coronavirus, the US, the UK, Brazil, India, and Russia, all have, I think it was one more, all have far right-wing governments. And we hopefully Trump is going to lose in these elections upcoming, and that's going to be a big damage to the far right movement throughout the world. So there's a lot of things that we could and should be doing. The Black Lives Matter movement in the UK and America, which is sweeping the West. It it's also a platform upon which people can raise the injustices of racial discrimination, and undocumented migrants are a population who are subjected to racial discrimination. They've come from abroad. Yeah.
What we have done, we want to make a strategy how to keep this movement going on regarding the legalized undocumented migrant. There are more than 15 petitions towards the House of Commons, and everything is dismissed by the government because there's so little support for these petitions. 30,000, 40,000, 35,000. It requires 100,000 signature to discuss it in the House of Commons platform. Even if we have 100,000, there is no guarantee that they will discuss and they will pass the legislation. So what we want to do, we want to knock the different diaspora. We want to bring barristers, human rights activists, JCWI, Amnesty International, Liberty, you name it, to in one platform. Let them talk, let them debate, and we want to bring the people who is dead against this liberty, that against this amnesty, all legalization of the undocumented immigrant. Why? Because we have to start the debate. There's somewhere starting point, and we have seen the sporadic effort. Someone is talking for 2 days and they don't pursue it for next 2 years. It will not work. And I want your opinion, and I want you to say it in your own language for Urdu diaspora in UK, what we are doing. Mr. Jafar, please.
अच्छा, तो ये नाशिद भाई कह रहे हैं कि इस मुल्क में अगर पार्लियामेंट सब कानून बनाती है और अगर पिटिशन किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन और किसी कैंपेन पिटिशन डालता है और सिग्नेचर्स कलेक्ट करता है 100,000 लोगों का सिग्नेचर्स, तो वो सब्जेक्ट पार्लियामेंट में जरूर डिस्कस करना, कानून से डिस्कस करना, ये मतलब they have to discuss it in parliament. तो नाशिद भाई कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि जो सब ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस इस रास्ता पर चाहता है कि एमनेस्टी दिलाने के लिए, कि उन लोग को साथ ले आए, डिस्कस करें और कंसिस्टेंटली काम करें कि ये एमनेस्टी को पास करें और किसी सॉल्यूशन दें इस ऐसे लोगों के लिए, और डिबेट और डिस्कस करने के लिए कि कैसे ये चीज़ ये मुल्क को ब्रिटेन को बेनिफिट में है. तो नाशिद भाई यही कह रहे हैं कि जो ग्रुप और जो कैंपेन वो कर रहे हैं, यही इन लोगों को ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं.
Thank you, Mr. Jafar. And my personal opinion is, you may not see it in 1 year time, in 2 year time. And if you look at the government policy, the Priti Patel clearly mentioned that she will not allow that immigration health service exemption for NHS worker. But with the pressure, Boris Johnson U-turn, and you know that footballer regarding the children's lunch voucher, they U-turn. We have to create something like that. Only talking in the Facebook, TV, or making 2-3 seminars, it will not change the scenario. But Mr. Saim, please.
Definitely. Our message has always been clear to our viewers. We have never said the campaign would be successfully concluded overnight. We have said to our viewers on all shows that we have to keep working on this. Everybody has to be united. There is a government, there are policymakers who don't want to implement what they have said in the past. However, we have to make them implement their promise, we have to pressurize on them. But this pressure will not be successful if we are not united. That is why Mr. Jafar is on our show today. And different communities have to come together, raise their voice together, and the voice has to be very strong. So if we just submit a petition to the parliament with 10,000 signatures, it will not be discussed. If we have 100,000 signatures, it may be discussed. However, yet it may not be successful. What we have to do is voice has to spread everywhere within the United Kingdom. And the policymakers have to be convinced by pressure from all corners of the society and from all parts of our country that the undocumented immigrants should be legalized because of the benefits of this country, the economic benefits which they have been mentioning for a long time. So why all on a sudden Priti Patel will say, or her colleagues who are against undocumented immigrants' interests, that they shouldn't be legalized? If they shouldn't be legalized, if amnesty is not declared, then why other activities, other decisions are taken by the government which actually allow people to come to this country? I'm saying this repeatedly because when you give opportunity to people outside the United Kingdom to come to this country, you can actually accommodate the people who are already with us. They are part of us. We have said they are part of us. If you have any conditions, if you have some requirements, well, you can actually enact laws to impose those conditions for the people who want to be legalized in this country. You can say, you won't get any benefits in 10 years' time. You have to earn this level of money. Yes, people are ready. We know lots of people who are skilled, who are actually within this community and country, who know how to survive, how to earn a lot of money, how to make benefits to the country's economy. So why won't you give chance to those people? My comment, my support is always for the undocumented immigrants, because we are actually inalienably with them. We cannot part them because they are part of us. They are with us. We all have to be, once again, which I have always said, Nasheed Bhai, you have said, this is our focal point, that we have to be united. Every single member of the community or different communities, whether documented, whether undocumented, whether settled, whether British citizens, or whether EE nationals, everyone has to raise their voice. And when the voice is united, I'm pretty sure Mr. Johnson will be bound to keep his promise.
Yeah. Mr. Jafar, we have three strategies. First one is we will target 650 MPs. We'll send the same representation to 650 MPs, highlighting the economic benefit of UK. It's not the welfare of undocumented immigrant. It's not the foreign-born criminals. It's the benefit of UK economy, the NI, the tax, the legalization, and they will not involve in prostitution, gang war, or illicit or illegal working. This is the first thing. Second thing is we have to keep this debate on. And third is we have to knock the policy level and political level both. So I want your opinion and how you can contribute, how you can give your vast experience with this movement, please, Barrister Jafar.
Well, I would my work involves representing people on an individual basis, but I would support any organisation in this project. I think it is quite important, and I think and I agree. You're right. In the end, I think it's a campaign which has to succeed, really, because that's the logic of the benefits that will flow from it. So we all want a more open and just society, and working for an amnesty for undocumented migrants is something which enriches this country, and I would warmly take part in any campaign to assist that.
Mr. Jafar, I want your concluding remark, and then you can go. I and Mr. Sai will continue in Bengali. So you have 2 minutes to say your concluding remark. 1 minute in English and 1 minute in Urdu, please.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Nasheed, and thank you, Abu. It's been a pleasure being on this program. I believe that there will be a lot of benefit that will come from the unified work of all these campaigns. Assalamu alaikum. हम शुक्रिया कहना चाहते हैं मेरे होस्ट को, और हम यकीन करते हैं कि इन लोगों के तरह के काम जो सब यूनाइट करके इस काम से अच्छा चीज आएगा फ्यूचर में इंशाल्लाह। तो हम इन लोग की तरह के लोग की तरह को सपोर्ट करेंगे जैसे भी हम कर सकते हैं। शुक्रिया और अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
I like to thank Barrister Abdurahman Jafar from my bottom of my heart. He deprived his family. Middle of the night, he's talking for the benefit of undocumented immigrant with his passion, with his lifelong principle, and he want to involve with our motto, our goal. And he is working for more than 2 decades for this cause. Not only for this cause, other humanitarian cause. Brother Jafar, thank you very much.
Thank you, brother. Assalamu alaikum.
ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, ব্যারিস্টার আব্দুর রহমান জাফর আমাদের সাথে জয়েন করেছেন। দীর্ঘ 23 বছর ধরে যিনি ব্রিটেনের বিভিন্ন আদালতে ব্যারিস্টার হিসেবে প্র্যাকটিস করছেন, হিউম্যান রাইটস অ্যাক্টিভিস্ট হিসেবে প্র্যাকটিস করছেন, ইমিগ্রেশন আইনজীবী হিসেবে প্র্যাকটিস করছেন। আমি এবং ব্যারিস্টার আবু সায়েম শতাধিকবার তার সাথে বিভিন্ন জায়গায় মিলিত হয়েছি এবং আমার সাথে ব্যক্তিগত অত্যন্ত ভালো সম্পর্ক। তিনি যথার্থভাবে বলেছেন আমাদের 3টি ফ্রন্টে লড়াই করতে হবে, যে উদ্দেশ্যে আমরা এসেছিলাম। ব্যারিস্টার সায়েম অত্যন্ত শক্তিশালী ভাবে বলেন আমরা এসেছি একটা কজের জন্য, যে কজটা আমরা শেষ দেখে ছাড়বো আজ কাল পরশু, কবে আমি জানি না। ব্যারিস্টার সায়েম।
নাশিদ ভাই, আপনাকে ধন্যবাদ যে আপনি আসলে এই যে আমরা লাইভ শোটা দেখি সকলে মিলে, এটার পেছনে যে কাজটুকু আছে সেই কাজটুকু কিন্তু আপনি একা করছেন। আমি অবশ্যই আপনার পাশে আছি, কিন্তু আপনি এমন একজন মানুষ নিজে যে কাজগুলো করেন সেই কৃতিত্বটাও ভাগাভাগি করেন সহকর্মীকে নিয়ে। সত্যিকার অর্থে আপনাকে স্যালুট জানাই। আপনার এই কর্মটা যেন আমাদের যে ভালোবাসার মানুষগুলো ভাই বোনেরা আনডকুমেন্টেড আছেন তাদের কাজে লাগে। পাশাপাশি আমরা দুজন কাজ করছি। একটি মেসেজ কিন্তু আমরা বারবার দিয়েছি আমাদের কমিউনিটিকে, যে একসাথে চলতে হবে, একসাথে কথা বলতে হবে, একসাথেই কিন্তু ঝাঁপিয়ে পড়তে হবে। সেটি যদি না হয় তাহলে কিন্তু মনে করবেন না যে সফলতা চলে আসবে। আজকে ব্যারিস্টার জাফর এসছে, এরকম আরো অসংখ্য মানুষ এই প্ল্যাটফর্মে আসবে, এবং এটাকে আমরা এভাবেই সাজিয়েছি যে মানুষগুলোর ভয়েসটাকে আমরা একটা জায়গায় করে ফেলবো। সবগুলো মানুষের ভয়েস, সবগুলো এমপির ভয়েস আপনাদের জন্য কথা বলবে, আনডকুমেন্টেড ইমিগ্রেন্টদের জন্য, আমাদের ভাই বোনদের জন্য, যাদেরকে আমরা ভালোবাসি, যারা আমাদেরকে ভালোবাসেন। সুতরাং আবার সেই প্রতিশ্রুতিটা দিচ্ছি, নাশিদ রহমান কিংবা ব্যারিস্টার সায়েম এখানে এক রাতের জন্য আসেনি, একটা অনুষ্ঠান করে চলে যাবে কিংবা নিজেদের ফেস দেখাবে সেজন্য না। বাংলায় হোক, ইংরেজিতে হোক, উর্দুতে হোক, হিন্দিতে হোক, আরবিতে হোক, যে ল্যাঙ্গুয়েজে হোক, আমাদের ভয়েস পলিসি মেকারদের কাছে যেতে হবে। এটাই হচ্ছে আমাদের শপথ। সেই শপথে আপনারা কিন্তু আমাদের পাশে থাকতে হবে। আমরা দুজনেই সবকিছু সফল করে ফেলতে হবে, এই কথা যেমন আমরা কখনো বলিনি। আশা করি যে যারা বোধগম্যতা আছে তারা কখনো এই কথাটা মনেও করবেন না যে এমনটা আমরা ভাবছি কিংবা এমনটা হবে। সবাই মিলে কাজ করতে হবে, সকলকেই পরামর্শ দিতে হবে, সবাই আমাদেরকে নিয়ে পথ চলতে হবে, আমরা সবাইকে নিয়ে পথ চলতে হবে। যদি তেমনটি হয় তখন বেঙ্গলি কমিউনিটি বলেন, পাকিস্তানি কমিউনিটি বলেন, ইন্ডিয়ান কমিউনিটি বলেন, যত দেশের যত কমিউনিটি আছে কিংবা মিডল ইস্ট থেকে বিভিন্ন দেশ থেকে যারা এসছে, আফ্রিকা থেকে এসছে, তাদের সবাইকে নিয়ে যদি আমরা যদি একটা মানব জাতি হিসেবে কাজ করি, ধর্ম, বর্ণ, রং সবকিছুকে বাদ দিয়ে, তখন কিন্তু আমাদের কথা শুনতে বাধ্য। কথা কিন্তু তারা বিভিন্ন সময় শুনেছে, শুনতে চায়নি কিন্তু শুনেছে। ইতিমধ্যে উদাহরণগুলো এসেছে, এনএইচএস এর ক্ষেত্রে এসেছে, আরো অনেক ক্ষেত্রে এসেছে, যেটা তারা করতে চায়নি কিন্তু তারা করতে বাধ্য হয়েছে। ভবিষ্যতে আমাদের ভয়েস যদি ইউনাইটেড হয়, স্ট্রং হয়, ইনশাল্লাহ আমাদের কথাও শুনতে তারা বাধ্য হবে।
সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আমরা একটু কম্পিউটারের পর্দার দিকে তাকাবো। আমরা আজকের যে অনুষ্ঠানটার ব্যানারটা দেখেন আমরা কি করেছি, হিন্দি ভাষায় এবং উর্দু ভাষায় দিয়েছি। এবং ব্যারিস্টার আবু সাহেব যথার্থই বলেছেন যে আমাদের পিছনে যে কাজ করছেন, অত্যন্ত কষ্ট করে কাজ করছেন, তাদেরকে আমি স্যালুট জানাই। আমার এই ভাষাগুলো জানা নেই, তারা ফোন করেছে, তারা এটা চেক করেছে, তারা বানান দেখেছে, অর্থ দেখেছে, তারপরে দিয়েছেন। আপনারা যদি দেখেন, আমি এবং ব্যারিস্টার আবু সাহেব অন্য কোনো ভাষাভাষী কাউকে নিয়ে অনুষ্ঠানে আসবো, আপনাদের অনুরোধ, আপনারা সেই ভাষাভাষী বন্ধুদের, প্রতিবেশীদের, সহকর্মীদের, পরিচিত লোকজনকে বলেন তোমরা অনুষ্ঠান দেখো, ফোন করো। আজ আমি যে মেহমান এসেছি, তিনি তো বাংলার প্রশ্নের উত্তর দেওয়ার জন্য আসেননি, তিনি তো ইমিগ্রেশন প্রবলেম সলভ করার জন্য আসেননি, তিনি অনিবন্ধিত, অনথিভুক্ত অভিবাসীদের দুঃখের কথা বলতে আসছেন, রাজনৈতিক বক্তব্য দিতে এসেছেন, রাজনৈতিক ভাবে আইনগত সমস্যা কি সমাধান করা যায় সেটা বলতে আসছেন। আমরা এমন আরো লোক আনবো। সেদিন আমি এবং ব্যারিস্টার সাহেব তার সাথে এই পলিসি নিয়ে আলোচনা করবো, যাতে তিনি তার ডায়াসপোরা তারা 10 জনের সাথে কথা বলেন, আরো 10 জন লোককে নিয়ে আসেন। এটাই আমাদের উদ্দেশ্য। ব্যারিস্টার সাহেব, আপনার সমাপনী বক্তব্য 1 মিনিট প্লিজ।
থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ নাশিদ ভাই। আসলে একটা প্রাণবন্ত অনুষ্ঠান ছিল, এবং যদিও এই মুহূর্তে জাফর নেই, কিন্তু মিস্টার জাফরকে আমি আবারও ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি অন্তরের অন্তঃস্থল থেকে। আসলে তিনি তার মূল্যবান সময়টা আমাদের দিয়েছেন। এভাবে আমরা আরো অনেক মানুষকে নিয়ে আসবো যারা কথা বলবেন আনডকুমেন্টেড ইমিগ্রেন্টদের পক্ষে। তবে আপনাদেরও যে কাজটা আছে আবার স্মরণ করিয়ে দিই, আমরা 2টো প্ল্যাটফর্ম করেছি ফেসবুকে, একটি হচ্ছে আপনার পেজ আর একটি হচ্ছে গ্রুপ, লিগালাইজ আনডকুমেন্টেড ইমিগ্রেন্টস। আমাদের ইউটিউব আছে TV3 বাংলা। সুতরাং এই প্ল্যাটফর্ম গুলোতে আপনারা বেশি বেশি করে যোগ দিতে হবে, প্লিজ প্লিজ বেশি বেশি করে যোগ দিতে হবে। আজকে যদি এই কজটাকে সাকসেসফুল করতে হয়, তাহলে কেবলমাত্র এই অনুষ্ঠানটা দেখে কিছু অ্যাডভাইস নিয়ে কোনো লাভ হবে না। আমরা হয়তো কিছু ভালো কথা বললাম, সেই কথাগুলো হয়তো খানিক সময়ের জন্য আপনাদের কিছুটা কাজে লাগলো, কিন্তু বৃহত্তর স্বার্থে দীর্ঘমেয়াদী একটি সুফল যদি আনতে হয়, তাহলে আপনাদেরকে এখানে যোগ দিতে হবে, আপনাদেরকে পরামর্শ দিতে হবে, আপনাদেরকে বিভিন্ন উপাত্তগুলো এই জায়গাটাতে জড়ো করতে হবে। তখন আমরা একসাথে মিলে ইনশাল্লাহ আমাদের যে দাবিটা আছে, দাবিটার বিষয়ে কিন্তু আমরা কিন্তু অনড়। নাশিদ ভাই, আমরা কিন্তু এই দাবিটা থেকে সরে যাব না। এখন কে পিছনে লাগলো, কে মন্দ কথা বললো, আর কে কি উইং খুলে ফেললো, তাতে আমাদের কিছু যায় আসে না। আজকে এই জায়গাটাতে এসেছি আপনাদের ভালোবাসা নিয়ে, আপনাদের দোয়া নিয়ে, এই দোয়া এবং ভালোবাসা নিয়ে পথ চলতে চাই, সফল হতে চাই আপনাদেরকে নিয়ে। সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ।
সুপ্রিয় দর্শক, আমি অন্তরের অন্তঃস্থল থেকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি ব্যারিস্টার জাফরকে আজকে অনুষ্ঠানে আসার জন্য। ব্যারিস্টার সাহেব আমার সাথে আছেন, ছিলেন, ইনশাআল্লাহ থাকবেন, এবং তৃপ্ত এবং বলিষ্ঠ বক্তব্য তিনি দিয়ে রাখেন, সেটাকে আমি স্বাগত জানাই। সব দর্শকদের অনুরোধ করছি, অ্যামনেস্টি ফর ইলিগাল ইমিগ্রেন্টস বা আনডকুমেন্টেড ইমিগ্রেন্ট এই অনুষ্ঠানটা আমরা চালিয়ে নেব। আপনারা সাথে থাকবেন, আপনারা কিন্তু সেনাপতি, আমরা সৈনিক, এই জিনিসটা আপনারা মনে রাখবেন। আজ যারা কল করেছেন, কল নিতে পারেনি, কারণ কি ওই কলগুলো অ্যামনেস্টি ফর আনডকুমেন্টেড ইমিগ্রেন্টদের জন্য ছিল না, ব্যক্তিগত আইন সমস্যা নিয়ে পরামর্শ দেওয়ার জন্য আপনারা এখানে এসেছিলেন। আপনাদের আইনজীবী থাকলে তার কাছে পরামর্শ নেন, অথবা অন্যান্য অনেক টেলিভিশনে অনেক অনুষ্ঠান হয়, শনিবার দিন এই টেলিভিশনে আপনারা লবিতে নেওয়া দেখতে পারেন, ওখানে জবাব দেবো। যেদিন আমি এবং ব্যারিস্টার সাহেব একা থাকবো, সেদিন কিন্তু ইনশাআল্লাহ আমরা প্রশ্ন জবাব দেবো, আমরা সমাধান দেবো। কিন্তু অন্য মেহমানদের কিন্তু তাদের সম্মান করতে হবে, ডায়াসপোরাকে সম্মান করতে হবে। ব্যারিস্টার সায়েম এবং আমাদের নেপথ্যে যারা সাহায্য করছেন তাদের সবাইকে ধন্যবাদ। আজ এখানে শেষ করছি, বিদায়, আল্লাহ হাফিজ।
I help my plants to grow. My performance demands competence. Photography is my passion. Accountancy is my profession. We, Mahbub & Co., a team of dedicated professionals.
Mahbub & Co. Accountants.